Welcome to the Lifelinks podcast, all you sassy Latinas. This is where you come to hear stories that resonate with you, help you discover your true cultural identity, tossing off the need to fit in, and standing out with your authenticity, because that is your superpower. I'm your host, Consuelo Crosby, and also the creator of this content. If there's anything you'd like to share, please reach out to us on our Instagram social media at Lifelinks, that's LNXX, or through our website at lifelinks.com. Of course, come here for some love and chat sessions with our fab guests from the comunidad. Sit back, have your cafecito, maybe some vino, whatever you like. We are bringing the sisterhood to you. Hola, chicas. So happy to have you here today and every Wednesday to listen to our amigas who speak their truth, embrace la cultura, and find belonging in the comunidad. Hope you're reveling in some relaxation and some sunshine and getting yourself away from the typical grind, taking some time off, chilling in what is the joy of living. And as you know, I am on summer break and wrapping up this season 4 today with the last highlight of our past episodes. I really wanted to bring forward some of our past episodes so our new listeners could get a little understanding of what we're all about here, and for our longtime listeners to have a little refresh. But before we go further into the highlight, I just want to take this pause, a little focus on self, because that is all part of this. We learn to focus on self. Like Rosa Revuelta said, we should choose ourselves first. This week marks my 2nd anniversary of this podcast. Whoop whoop! And we will be starting season 5 next week with our 100th episode. 100! I don't even know if I still have a voice. This is amazing. I can't believe it. It has been such a joyous adventure. A major learning curve, and just the happiness I feel of this successful community that we have built. And let's keep growing it. Let's keep sharing this podcast with more of our friends and family because we find that commonality that gives us this sense of belonging together. We no longer feel that isolation of not being good enough in one culture or the other because right here, we are all together beautiful, joyful, confident, loving amigas. So viva and salud to just starting your dream, ladies, to see where it leads you. And that is what today's episode really emphasizes. Discovering what is holding you back from being your true self and releasing it, yanking it out so that you're living your best self. One that goes after your dream, puts yourself first, knowing that everyone else will benefit from your joy and confidence that will come up when you feel so good going after your dreams. So let's lean into episode 70, a past episode with Brenda Amiel. Brenda is the founder of High Vibes Consulting, providing powerful breakthroughs to entrepreneurs to help them eliminate personal blocks and create transformational paths to clarity. And let me tell you, by the end of this episode, you will have mind-blowing clarity. Unless you've already been graced by Brenda's talents, this was a first for me. Now, you may think she stepped right into this career, but her romantic relationships cycled through the familiar pattern of volatility, instability, and people-pleasing, eventually leading to Brenda having traumatic episodes. And that's when she discovered NLP and hypnosis. And within a year, she quit her 9-to-5 job to become a master certified NLP, hypnosis, and timeline therapy coach. So welcome, Brenda. Thank you for joining us today. Let's dive into this journey because it is just like pinging along like a pinball game to all the different things that happened in your life. First, lead us up to it with your upbringing and your heritage.
my mom and dad are from Guatemala. They came here, I think my mom was 20 and my dad was maybe like 23. I didn't know how to speak Spanish. And so in high school, I would try to fit in with the Hispanic kids, but they would speak in Spanish and I couldn't do that. So I couldn't fit in with the Hispanic kids. And I'm clearly brown. I don't look like the other one. And so I don't necessarily fit in with the other group. And I just wrote it off at the time as, oh, I'm just a social butterfly. I have friends everywhere. But I think it really hit my senior year of high school when I truly felt like I didn't belong. I got really down. And I remember I started eating lunch alone at some point. Oh. And I was like, I just want to get out of high school. Like, yeah, it was really sad. Sometimes I would go in my car and eat alone because I was like, I don't have any friends. I can't relate to anybody. And it was really just my own identity crisis of like, am I Hispanic? But I can't speak Spanish, but I look Hispanic. But the way I think and some of my aspirations are heavily influenced by the American culture. So what am I? Am I Guatemalan? Am I American? But I don't fit in with the like regular American. So it was a very big identity crisis my senior year of high school. That's when a lot of the problems that I had growing up started manifesting.
So did your parents come with the intent that they were going to assimilate into the American culture?
They very much assimilated. Like we hardly ever grew up with traditional Guatemalan dishes. I actually don't even know what a traditional Guatemalan dish is. I have no idea, and I'm 30 years old.
Okay.
When I got out of high school, I went to go work for a mortgage company where I learned how to be a loan officer. And I got licensed really young. And by the time I was 20 years old, I was making $50,000 a year, working 5 to 10 hours a week as a loan officer.
Wow.
It was a really good introduction into the business world because my mentor, she has Mexican background and she owned the mortgage company and she was just a badass woman. And I was like, I want to be her. She owned this like beautiful $2 million home. She drove the Benz. She wore the Louis. She did it all. And I was like, I want to be her. I got recruited into the tech industry as a project manager.
Awesome. Wow.
And all while this is happening, my personal life is on fire. My professional life started taking off, but then COVID hit. Oh, sweet COVID.
That wet blanket of despair COVID. Oh, yes. God.
So all of a sudden, and I think this happened with a lot of people, all of a sudden, the wave of all my lessons from the non-relationship that I had with my dad at the time, from all the things that I had been through with my toxic relationship, with all the things that I had learned from the man that I was engaged to, all like everything just all of a sudden hit at once. And I was like, oh God, what do I do?
It's like an avalanche. Oh God.
It was an absolute avalanche. And it was so overwhelming. So at this point, everything hits at once. I'm not going back to therapy because I've never seen results. So one of my best friends reappears into my life and she's been going on her own journey. Her and I haven't talked for maybe like 2 or 3 years at this point. And she just randomly appears, which it's not randomly.
Yes.
It was my unconscious mind creating all of this for me. So she reappears. We have a conversation and she goes, I can see all the fear that you have in your eyes about life. And I immediately started crying because I was scared. Like, what's going on? What are all these lessons for? I don't know what the purpose of my life is. Why did I have to go through all of that? Why me? Why me? And so she gave me this book called Many Lives, Many Masters by Brian Weiss. And I highly recommend that you read it because that is a book that turned my world upside down.
In a good way.
In a fabulous way. At the time, it was scary, but in a fabulous way. Because it's a book about a traditional psychotherapist dealing with a patient who has chronic anxiety. Like she cannot even function in society. And he's working with her for 18 months and nothing happened, which was so similar to me because I was like, I've always suffered from anxiety. I get this like wave of fear for no reason. And so this book is talking about how she's going through that. And he finally said, okay, 18 months, there's no improvement. I'm going to turn to hypnotherapy. So I stayed up the entire night and read that book. I did not put it down. I didn't sleep. And I read that book. I opened the portal. And at that point, I got really interested in hypnotherapy. And my birthday rolled around. And I got really serious about what do I want?
Mm-hmm.
What do I desire? Let me go back to the little girl who used to dream about her $2 million house, about her red bottoms, about her Benz, about her mortgage company, about all these things. What do I desire? I really had to ask myself that. I remember on my birthday, I cut out all the music. I did not listen to music with words anymore. I worked out every single day. I read a book every single day. I meditated for 90 minutes every single day for 6 months.
Oh my God.
And I shut out the world. I did this for 6 months. And all of a sudden, my dreams started coming in. And I was like, okay, all the things that I had been through, I'm supposed to help other women who don't know how to get through that because it took me 5 years to get through that. And when I found hypnotherapy and when I found NLP and when I found timeline therapy, within 7 days, I let it all go. All of it.
So what is this amazing business that you started that gave you the liberty, but also your clients amazing clarity?
Whenever you're scaling a business or even you're starting a business, you have to go internal first in order for the outward to reflect.
Yes. Oh, say that again. I like that. You have to go inward first.
You have to go inward first for the outward to reflect. When I say the inner work, what I mean is a self-reflection that you've most likely never done before. Because what I use, the techniques that I'm formally trained in and certified in, and that I actually certify other coaches in now, is NLP, hypnosis, and timeline therapy.
Okay.
So my business name is High Vibes Consulting. I have 2 offers. So where I work with entrepreneurs who want to either start or scale a business, that is for accelerate your success. That's where we deep dive into the root cause. That's where you come in and we do the inner work together that you may have been avoiding.
Yeah.
Oh, or maybe didn't even know that you needed to do that to start or scale a business. And so we do the inner work. I even teach you some NLP techniques that you can use for relationship building and for sales, because sales is a whole different thing. So there's so many people who think, oh, sales is like evil. Sales is manipulative. Sales is this. When in reality, when you actually learn sales from an NLP perspective, you learn that sales is just your ability to listen. That's all sales is. The inner work isn't fun. It's not fun.
Yeah.
But it's necessary. Every time I've done inner work, it's a really rough week for me. I'm crying a lot because I have to really understand what put me in that position. Why are you in the position that you are right now? And it's truly understanding, and it's taking accountability for all the choices that you have made that have put you in the position that you are in. Because it's so easy to put it outward and say, well, maybe all these things have happened. However, I am now taking accountability that all of the conscious and unconscious behaviors and choices that I have made have led me to where I'm at right now. And the minute someone makes that switch, it's not an easy switch, but the minute someone makes that switch, you now take control of your life, and therefore you can take control of your business and your income.
So how can people find you?
They can find me from my website, which is highvibesconsulting.com, or they can find me on Instagram or TikTok. And it's just Brenda Amiel. And you can say, let's go. I'm ready.
Everybody's going to be so ready.
And I will say, let's get it.
Okay, yes. Let's go. You are ready. Wasn't it something? This is just a highlights. You can find the full episode, episode 70, Get to the Root Cause and Yank It Out, on any of your favorite streaming platforms and on our website at lifelinks.com. So you can hear more of Brenda's story, more of her history, more of what prompted her to start this amazing consulting company. I love how she just encourages us to stop looking outwardly for the cause of our problems and instead look inward to find our pain, to find the source of our fear and yank it out. Get rid of it. And as she says in the full episode, the more you clear out this pain, the more room there is to grow some really beautiful joy. And with that comes the confidence and the self-love. And you can never get too much of that. Just saying, there's always room to love yourself more. This is the perfect episode to lead into season 5 next week with that clear state of mind to go after what you want, totally free from what is holding you back. I think I just heard a whole lot of pain and burdens drop off, just ka-thunk to the floor right now. You are brilliant. I love the possibility that comes from listening to the heartfelt stories of our amazing Latinas. We learn so much from each other, both for ourselves and even more so about them personally. It's so exciting to know that these women exist out there and that we have a way to get in touch with each other. And wouldn't that be a great thing to share with your amigahood? Encourage them to subscribe to the podcast on any of the streaming platforms so that each episode drops into their phone and guarantees you won't miss learning any of the deets from our awesome guests. Remember to check out our website at lifelinks.com. That's LNXX. And yes, we did change it. Everyone's on board with Lifelinks. And there you can find the articles recapturing what we heard on the podcast and more insights to what our amigas are sharing and more of their story. Also, they will have their social media links and how to best contact them so you can learn more about them personally. Raise a toast to Lifelinks this week as we celebrate our 2nd anniversary. I'd love to see some shout outs from you across social media at Lifelinks, and look for me more as I come out from behind the mic and in front of the camera. Step into your truth, ladies. Ciao. Really appreciate the time you take to rate and review the podcast. Get the backstory and what you've heard here today and reach out to us at thelinks.com. That's LNXX. Because it's about time, it's about us. Stay in the groove on our social media at Lifelinks and get ready to make your move, ladies. Viva!